G'day folks, how about that? Mark King from Piano Warehouse. I was going to sing one of Mark's songs, but I thought he's not singing any of mine. But we're back and we're streaming right throughout the globe. And we're coming up to Christmas, and in various parts of the world it's going to be different. Some of you are in complete lockdown. In our country, here down under in Australia, we're just loosening the sort of shackles a little bit. And I was down the bay today with my wife Lynn, and people were everywhere, the kids, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Well, we've got a big show for you tonight, which is nothing unusual because Bob and Sam have been very, very busy. Daniel's ready to hit the tape in a minute, but our first story, and get online, you usual blokes. I know that Fishing Mafia will be there with Hanno down at Newgee Bush Goods, and Tumby Tom across at Tumby Bay in South Australia. And of course, Wes, you'll be looking at us up there in the mountains above Lake Eildon at Wes's Ponderosa, high above the Lake Eildon on the, I think it's the Hauqua River, where the rainbow trout are taking that little rubber leg stimulator that you got from Gav. So all the best to everyone. It's a great time of the year. It's a great time to reflect. And if we've survived this far, folks, we're cooking with gas. Talking about gas, we're going into the ocean, the Pacific Ocean off Newcastle, where Jennifer Hawkins was a cheerleader before she became a household name and won Miss Universe. Out there is a bloke called Garry Crombie. Now, he's a cross between, Bob's saying, we won't say that, but I call him Two Dogs Crombie, and he said, Rex, I think you better reminisce a bit with Garfish off the pier. And I said, Two Dogs, go and get yourself a cup of coffee, prepare us with a few crabs to go out and fish for the double headers in the lagoon. And as Daniel gets his finger poised over the button, folks, I'm reminiscing back to 1956, the year of the Olympics in Melbourne. And I went to the Mentone Pier. I saw Alec Rowe there, who was just a hero of mine on the piers. He taught me how to get sandworms. He taught me how to make beautiful garfish floats. I caught my first garfish. And when we flew to Lord Howe Island, and Two Dogs told me there's some serious garfish there, I said, I'd love to catch one. And you know what he said? Rexy, get on your bike.
Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. The old bearded burbler, he's in his element. It's just like nature. It's what we're all about. Wagons ho! Have a look at that! Just when they think it's safe to come out. Not an animal! Bang! I guess in the end, that's probably why we all go fishing. Hello, mate. Oh, thank goodness, downhill. Thank goodness gracious me. Oh, that is exhilarating, folks. I tell you what, it's been a while since I've been on a bike. I think it was after 1956, but that is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take myself back in time. Welcome back to Lord Howe Island. Wasn't it great fun last week? It's one of the jewels in a magnificent Australian crown. Now, today I'm going to do a bit of gar fishing. This takes me back, well, 47 years to the Mentone Pier on the shores of Port Phillip Bay, catching the mighty and the humble garfish. And kids, if you want to be a fisherman like old Rexy, it's a great place to start. the fantastic pier at Lord Howe Island. Gee, it's a bit crowded. I learned very, very early from the old folk on the Mordialloc Pier that a moving bait is a sucker for a hungry garfish. Just like that there. And he grabbed it as soon as that bait moved, and a nice garfish as well. This is just sensational. This is taking me back so many years. Now, this one is a beautiful eating fish, and I'm going to show you a little trick. So many people take the fish home and clean it and then scale it. Well, when you learn what, like I learned, of some of the best in the 50s on Port Phillip Bay's piers, you'll know that you can grab the fish just like that, take the hook out. And the reason we use a long shank hook is to be able to get it out, and you'll then see why we use so light a gear, so small hooks, and so fine leaders fishing for these fish. This fish has got his beak below his mouth, and he uses that to sort of sift through all the weed and that sort of thing, and when the water's dirty, you can see how big his mouth is. It's not very big at all. So a long shank number 8 through to about a long shank 12 is the way to go. Now, holding the beak and holding the mouth, grip the fish with the towel and go down like that. Now, that fish is clean of all scales and all of the muck coming out of him, and he is a beautiful fish. And in the frying pan tonight at the Crombies on Lord Howe Island, it'll be absolutely magnificent, folks. Now here's a very, very good example. Have a look at this down here, folks. This is a very, very good example of what fishing at Lord Howe Island is all about. I can't guarantee what I call double headers. There are double headers outside in the lagoon behind me. And Two Dogs Crombie, he's the king of them. But when you come to Lord Howe, there's more than ocean fishing. Folks, we're going to take a break.
Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in an open whatever sleigh. Mark from Piano Warehouse, just magnificent. Would I love to be able to do that, but I think my old-fashioned Richmond football days have fixed that up with my phalanges. Now, Stacey, you're there in the Netherlands. Daniel Butler, welcome to you. Boonies Fishing, you are a regular, as is Greg Lockwood. Fishaholic, good on you, mate. And Mark O. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now, just cleaning up the garfish, no pun intended, that is a great tip. To grab them by the lip and just take the scales off, and then put them into a wet rag, and you roll them with a rolling pin, get the backbone out, and any fair dinkum Greek restaurant, well, all over the world, they will offer you fresh garfish. Now, the question there is, you've been fishing during the week. Well, I went bush bashing. I went to the foothills of Mount Baw in central Gippsland in Victoria. And up there is a lot of streams that end up in the Latrobe River, where you are, Hanno, at New G Bush Goods. And Hanno said to me, get Gav to take you right up the top, and we did, and I just thought he mustn't like me, but the fish were just beautiful. There's a photo on my Facebook page, just Rex Hunt Facebook, that's my private one, and just magnificent. I saw some unique things. A copperhead snake, which was as coppery as copper art. It was just magnificent, and they're the mountain strain. I saw an albino echidna, which you people in the Northern Hemisphere will call an anteater. and a goanna. I thought it was two blokes in a goanna suit staggering home from the pub like I told you last week. It was magnificent. It went straight up a burnt, was it ghost gum? But the ghost gum had started to sprout the leaves, and he just blended in, and he was feeding on, a big bush bull ant with a green sack. That didn't come out that well, but you know what I mean. And apparently the green sack, still not going that well, is sweet to the goanna, and he just munches on them all day. Just watch nature. It's absolutely magnificent. The disturbing thing was there's no koalas to feed on the freshly sprouting eucalypt leaves, but the Healesville Sanctuary apparently have got a couple of blokes who enjoy a bit of the old Makundi, whatever they say, a bit of rumpy, and they are servicing some females, and they're introducing them back into the wild. They just need a bit of a hand after the bushfires. So that was that. We're going to come up now to our next part of the show, to Lord Howe Island again. In the lee, which is the non-rough section where the waves break up there, where they feed the fish, and in the shadows of that magnificent cathedral mountain is a place they call the lagoon. And there's many fish species in there. I think there's about 10 species of leatherjacket for a start that just munch on the benthos and the coral and the barnacles. But there's a very, very nice fish that's exclusive to that part of the planet. And I thought, no way known, but exclusive to Lord Howe Island is a fish called the double header. Daniel, roll the tape in 3, 2, now.
Well, folks, I'm just wondering whether there is a better vista than the one behind me here at Lord Howe Island. And by the way, I hope you enjoyed the Garfish segment. It was 7 years ago, almost to the day, Garry Crombie, that you introduced me to bread fishing down there on that pier, and they were pretty active then, and they were today.
You taught me a new lesson today, Rex. They eat themselves.
They actually do feed on a little bit of their own flesh, so how about that? Now, folks, this is Lagoon Beach behind me, and of course this is the lagoon. And many people, when they do various activities, need a refresher course. I today need a refresher course in fishing for double headers.
Most people need a refresher on double headers, mate. Very different sort of fish to fish for. Two things to remember. When they're running off initially, let them run. No pressure at all, let them go. Let them run a good metre before you decide to hit them. They have trouble getting the food in their mouth quickly. Once you've hit them, forget there's a handle on your rod. It's hand on the spool stuff, dirty fighting, barroom brawl, stop him dead. Then crank like a maniac while you got his head, mate.
Mate, 20 years ago when I was a copper, I'd have a barroom brawl. Now I'm a lover, not a fighter. And thank you very much. This is the gear, and people will say, now these blokes are going out in a 13-foot boat with 30-pound lines. Apparently these have some grunt about them.
30-pound lines, light tackle, but we like to give them a chance, yeah.
I've got the guide. Two dogs, Crombie and Rexy. We're going double header fishing. Come along, folks. My goodness gracious me, Garry, who would want to be a crab here on Lord Howe Island?
Not me, Rex. I've seen too many die young, mate.
Folks, this is the area called the lagoon, and it's like it's out of a picture book, I can tell you now, but that goes for the whole island. We have made a beeline to the northwest corner of this lagoon. Why?
It's where our fish are, Rex. Lovely little corner here, lots of nice little coral holes for the double headers. Go up on the reef on the high tide to feed, come back into their little holes here on the low tide to wait for the next high tide.
What, for our viewers who haven't seen me here 7 years ago, is a double header?
Double headers, wrasse family fish. His correct name's Chorus bulbifrons. Called double header because mouth projects down on the lower part of the face. On the top here, his forehead comes out in a great big callous bump. Really exaggerated. Looks like he's got two heads as a consequence.
What are you doing there, Garry?
Rex, this is a big sea urchin. Double headers love them. This is our burley, mate, and that's why I carry an essential piece of equipment called a hammer. Smash him up, throw him in there. Double headers come from miles away to eat these guys.
Fantastic.
I'll just show you how it's done.
My goodness gracious me, Gary, like bees around a honeypot.
Dinner bell's gone, Rex.
How long, Gary? How long? Now?
About now, Rex, now.
Oh,
Rex.
no.
Rocks, Rex.
You told me they are very, very good. We are fishing for a very, very clever fish here, Gary.
I think this guy's got a PhD, Rex.
I tell you what, didn't they come around that sea urchin when you put it down?
They really love the sea urchin, mate. That's kind of pâté de foie gras for double header.
Pâté de foie
Oh,
gras.
look at that guy, quick.
Oh, quick. Yeah,
Oh,
I'll get another
please.
hook on, mate.
Let's do it.
Nice,
Nice grab on.
Okay.
Again, I'd favour the same area,
Do you?
mate. Little
All right.
fish are hanging closer to us,
Yeah.
big guys being a bit shy. Get me a bit more distance.
It's like under the lights at Morty Pier when I was a kid. The small fish would come under the light and then the big fish would be the ones scouting on the outside, the barracuda and the salmon and that sort of thing. No, look, I'm falling into the trap here of getting too excited. And this is
Everyone
exciting
does.
because
Everyone
you just
does.
never know what's around the next corner.
One shot wonder, mate. Throw to any good fish you see.
In there.
That'll do me nicely, thank you. Here comes a fish.
Right.
Two fish.
Two fish.
Three fish. And the third one's a good one.
Is it really? There's no chance he's done me, is there?
I'd be inclined to check your bait, Rex. Like that.
He's done me.
All right.
Done me like a dinner, but if he's got a taste, look at the size of this bloke here. He's done a taste, he's going to be ready for it. He's going to be like me.
We're just making him a bit heavier when we
Something to
finally
eat.
land him.
My goodness me, look at the size of that one
That's
over
the
there.
one we want, mate, but he's being a little shy
Is he?
today. See if
Shall we have a go for him over there? We've no chance. Just in the edge
To
there
his
as he's
right,
coming
lead,
in.
Lead him a little.
In
That's
there.
it. Lovely cast,
In there.
thank you.
And he'll be onto it, surely. That's why he's big, he's smart. Like me. Been around a bit.
Not too hungry today, that bloke. The smaller ones are interested. He's a bit cautious.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't be too eager. Oh, that was close, Rex. Bit of weight there that time, mate.
Well, I don't know how long I'm going to wait for, mate. I'll tell you what. Gee.
Let him go, Rex. Let him go, Rex. And hit him. Thank you very much, Rex. To me, fish. Out of that rock, Rex. Steer him. Steer him, Rex.
Get there. Oh, he's a lovely fish. Oh, double
All right,
header.
Rex, that'll do us for a fish. Just keep him up. He may run deep again for another rock.
I can see now when you're catching fish, 1 kilo to 3 kilos, and you're saying now, Rexy, 15 kilo absolute max, absolute minimum. I can see what you're talking about. You
It
might
sort of
grab him
sounds
for me,
strange.
mate.
Sort of sounds strange to
Yeah.
fish that heavy line for a fish this size,
Yep,
but their power is something to see.
isn't it? Absolutely magnificent. Okay,
And that line
you've got the camera.
Now.
Tell us a little bit about the double header of Lord Howe, because although they're in a couple of other areas around the place, these are exclusive to this particular part of the world.
To the Lord Howe Island rise area, yes. This is why you're seeing so much power out of the fish. Look at this. The whole body from there back is a tail. Look at this power. When he gets upset, all this fans out. Look at the power in that.
Yeah.
These fins, the whole body kicks as a tail. It takes so much energy that he has no stamina. Once you've stopped him,
Yeah.
it's all over, thank you very much. But stopping him is the hard part, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Wonderful thing. See these big teeth here?
Yep.
Use them almost like chopsticks to pick things out of the rock. but they're not particularly great for getting things back into your mouth quickly.
Yeah.
Hence we have to let him run. Takes him a while to get it back down there, fiddle with it.
Yep.
Good for picking up, lousy for swallowing quickly.
I see.
Back around here in his throat, great big grinding molars. They can actually chew up coral. You'll find coral in their gut at times.
Do they? Yeah.
To extract nutrient from it, but the thing they most like in this world, crabs, sea urchins and a couple of types of shellfish we have here.
Remind me never to come back as one of them, mate. My goodness me. Now, what size is the biggest you've had here with your charter clients?
The biggest we've landed and weighed is 16 pounds, Rex.
16 pounds.
Yep.
What would this bloke be, about 4?
I've got
4
him
pounds?
for 4, maybe 5. They're a heavy fish
they
for
are
their
heavy
size,
fish.
thick and stocky.
And they're a slippery fish.
Quite slimy, unfortunately. I just want to remove that hook
Oh,
for
yeah,
him.
he's got 4.5 pounds on him, this bloke.
Yeah. It's
Look at those teeth.
very stocky sort of fish.
Yeah.
I'll try not to put my finger in his mouth because that's a good way to lose a finger.
Yeah. Oh, so they're that good on the chomp.
Very powerful, mate. As I say, you know, you see those crabs, they're quite hard, yet those teeth there, straight into those crabs.
If he's good on the chomp, mate, he might have come along to Government House on Monday night, because I tell you what, I gave that sheep a bit of a go, didn't I, mate?
I don't think you would have stood much of a chance up against you, Rex, actually. Oh.
Sorry, mate, I'm going to get you back now. Please don't kick. I want to put you back. Bit of a kiss, and away you go.
Go, Rex. Come on, Rex. Good fish. Out of the rocks. He's in the rocks. Get him out of there. Out, 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 out. Pulling the boat over, Rex. Go like crazy, mate. He's pulling the boat to the rocks.
Oh, my goodness me.
Get him out of
Come
there,
on,
Rex.
come away
He's
from
going
there.
back in.
Come away from there. Well, there you are. I tell you what, lovely work. That is absolutely sensational, isn't it?
Oh, look at that hook too. We were close.
Oh, we were close, folks. What a beautiful fish, isn't it?
Look at that.
Absolutely beautiful.
Bit better than your last one, I think, Rex.
Yeah, it is. I reckon that's my best double header.
Check this out. Look at that.
The
Only just
hook.
had him.
Have a look at that.
Under his
Isn't that
stomach
just
there.
absolutely magnificent. A predator of the greatest degree. My goodness me. Crom, I might give it a kiss and just let you do the honours.
He deserves a kiss, that bloke, Rex.
And just, there he goes. And just say to you folks, I think I've been over the top in Lord Howe Island, probably in your mind, but to me, this is just somewhere special. But to enjoy in the very, very best of terms, you need help from locals. Whether it's eating one of the beautiful pies or drinking some of the lovely coffee or going on the walks. Two Dogs Crombie and his crew, well, they're the people. And you actually specialise in people who just dangle in fishing or just want to drop a line. That's your go. So the tourist who comes here, I want a day's fishing.
Anything, Rex. Full-blown game fishing, have a play for some garfish, something special like the double headers, fly fishing, whatever you want to do, we'll do it.
Well, there you are. Two Dogs Crombie has done it again, folks. Dances with wolves, Rex and Two Dogs. I might become a Spielberg.
Imagine those in heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today, catfish, folks. Just the old jockstrap. Two Dogs Crombie is still out at Lord Howe Island, and just to make sure that Bob and I and the girls can get back there and get some crabs, it didn't come out that well, and get some sea urchins to fish for the double headers, I want you to give him a ring and get out there and pay, and then we can get out there, okay? On a serious note, gee, we've got a lot of people there, and it's great that you're on board, and we're here to have a bit of fun. Now, before we go to our next segment, for all the Santa Clauses out there, I've had so many questions on my Facebook page and my email about what can Santa Claus take to kids or grandpas. That sort of. A balanced fishing outfit is what you need. A rod is an extension of your arm. The reel is only there to hold line and to cast, and it should not overpower the weight of the rod, which should be loaded when you cast. The other thing is there, the young Daniel pointed out that a lot of the questions is, what can we go fishing for? So many people go for anything that swims out there. Well, that's a recipe for success. Absolutely not. It's a recipe for disaster, because if you're on the pier, you're in the boat or on the stream hoping for anything to bite, well, you'll catch absolutely jack shizen. So if you want to catch trout, learn about their habits. Going to see a bloke like Hanno at New G Bush Goods and get a punnet of flat tails and drift them down the Latrobe, and bang, the trout will grab them, or the spiny crayfish will actually grab them as well. And by the way, check the bag limits on your fishing licence for trout and spiny crayfish. And the other thing is this, and I've forgotten. So I think we're now ready for Melville Island. Mel Miles is a lovely friend of Rex Hunt Fishing Adventures show. And I tell you now, if he ain't one of the best in the business, I ain't bald. And my goodness gracious me, Mark, our pianist, that didn't come out well either. Mark, our bald-headed man who plays the piano, can attest to no hair. So Mel Miles, Bob said, can you help us out? He said, my word, I can. If Rex is ready, I can put him onto the fish. And Bob, didn't he do it in spades? Bobby, roll the tape, will you?
Folks, I've had some tremendous helpers on this program over the time I've been on it, but every now and again I like to get out on my own with a guide and just take in some beautiful parts of Australia and the world. Mel Miles is mine host today. Now, he is the skipper of Gambler, which is the mothership of Darwin Bluewater business. And this is a special part of the world, Malcolm.
It is. It's the Jessie River. We're up to one of the tributaries of the Jessie River, and we're out for a bit of an afternoon fish. Hopefully going to knock over a barra, a couple of salmon. What else?
Well, mangrove jacks and fingermark perhaps. But around the corner, you know, I'm pretty keen to get there later on. Cole Roberts wrote an article many years ago about the Jessie River Rock Bar. I've been there twice and I have been triumphant. Can we at least have a couple of trolls there?
I'll let you have a couple of drags across there. There should be a big barra or two waiting for you. Possibly a Dewey, you never know your luck.
Those people in Australia would remember Mike and Mel, the Leyland brothers. They were legends of this type of television. But today, Mike and Mel take a backward step. It's Rex and Mel. We are the Jessie River brothers. Some description, I think it's only a cod. I think it's only a cod.
Oh, I think it's a jack.
A mangrove jack, is it?
Goldie.
Oh my goodness me. huh? What more is there? The first cast, the first troll. Ah, my goodness me. Said there'll be a snag there. I got the snag, but I also got the fish. Wow. How about that? How about that? It's a barramundi. The mangrove jack has turned into a barramundi.
It's not a bad size for you, Rex.
Look at that. Oh my goodness me. What a start. What a start to my return at the Jessie River. Look at that.
Well done, Rexy.
How are we travelling, Mel? You reckon we're travelling all right?
Well, that kind of went to script, I think, there, Rex.
I just want to get that hook away, if you don't mind, because I might just do that and do that.
That's it.
That's the way. There he is. Beautiful saltwater lean barramundi. Beautiful saltwater lean barramundi. Look at him. And we worry about the size of the lure. My goodness me. And those beautiful eyes. Look at those lovely eyes. They are designed for hunting predators at night. Eyes on top of the head. You are magnificent. There's a bit of zinc cream for you, mate.
Are you feeling hungry, Rex?
Pardon?
You hungry tonight, or?
Oh, you want to eat him? Well, you're going to have to eat something else, mate, because he deserves to go, and away he goes. Let me tell you, folks, you won't know what I'm talking about, but I had the worst morning this morning. I couldn't take a trick. The first troll. It's got to be a good show, this, folks. I can't wait to get to the rock bar. I promised Mel another barra. Don't tell him. Keep on changing lures and just see if I can talk him into getting it. Talk him into coming aboard. Okay. Touch?
Yep.
Yes.
Blue salmon.
Blue salmon. Well
Oh,
done.
feisty little blue salmon.
Well done. You won't be putting this one back because you like actually blue salmon sashimi, don't you?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Isn't it?
Very tasty.
Very good. You actually saw him before he took the lure, didn't you?
Just a little fella, but for their size,
Yeah, aren't they great?
they put up a fair performance.
They're cousins. The old threadfin are not too bad either. But blue, yeah, blue salmon. We actually said we'd catch a blue salmon. I tell you what, where have you been hiding all these years?
Every now and then the fish do what they're supposed to.
Do they? Yeah, I wish they didn't when we pointed the camera at them half the time. Oh, lovely.
Sashimi.
Sashimi. Oh, tonight.
Mark King from Piano Warehouse. How about that? And that's, I think, Mark's own composition. It's just magnificent. Titled, "For You, I'd Give Up a Day's Trout Fishing." It's just magnificent. The lyrics are just wonderful. And Mark, I tell you what, he can play the keyboard. I think one of the blokes that's never got the credit is the man, Gibb. Was it Morris? I think it was Morris who tragically died. They got in the Bee Gees. He was just magnificent. Now, I'm going to continue on for Christmas and the gear that I want. Well, I've already got it. it's a 2-weight fly rod from Gavin Healy. Gavin Healy? It's Gavin Hurley at Hurley's Fly Fishing. And yes, I pay there, no problem. I went fishing with them the other day. And for those who understand a 2-weight, it's a very, very light fly rod. Oh, it's beautiful, but it loads up beautifully. And Wes Betts said to me, this is as good as some of the bigger brands. And it's a Stalker Legend. But what I've done, and Wes, you'd understand this, I've put a 5-weight on the 2, and with a roll cast, which is allowing the fly line, and Peter Morse will explain this better if we had him on, and then roll it, and it loads up the rod and goes, whoom. And on my Facebook, there's a photo of me in the upper reaches of the, I think it's the Tangel West Branch, above Tangel Bren, where there's just little pools and this beautiful little brown trout before I kissed her and put them back. Is it just with a roll cast? So that's what I want, and I've already got it. The other thing I want is happiness for my family and happiness for everybody, because I can tell you now, money, at the only stage of my life, money meant something to me when I had none, because money can't buy you happiness. And why I'm now fishing a lot on my own, I don't mean anything against my fishing partners who go with me. My wife and our 2 dogs, we go and it's just fantastic. But there's nothing like a day on the water, you know, on your own. It's like when I rode the bike down to the Lord Howe jetty. So that's about it before I go to the next story. But skill is obtained through practice. I've got a sign on the side of my office, which is adjacent to, the rest of our house, that life's rewards are only won by the sweat of the brow. And I'm going across the Nullarbor to speak in February to a number of groups to inspire them, because I've got another saying: just because you're bottom of the class doesn't mean you can't buy the school. If no one hates you, you're not doing anything right. But if you give your all, it doesn't matter if you're not the best. What matters if you don't try your best. And that's where we are on this particular stage of our planet. We've got big, I suppose, challenges ahead, but a lot of the countries are leading the way to a recovery. And I just look forward to Lynn and I hopping above the clouds and going to some of the magnificent countries of Thailand, Vietnam and beyond, and seeing those people happy again after such a tragic year. So, I think, Bob, we're going back to Melville Island. So let's pick up the action. Melville Island, I think, Daniel, it's the second big... Anyhow, it's Tasmania, and then it's either Kangaroo Island or Melville Island, and that's where the Rioli family came from. They're famous in Australian football. Morris played for my club, Richmond, in the VFL, AFL. Cyril played magnificent football for Hawthorn. Daniel is a 3-time premiership player, and there's another one in the system. When Bob and I went to Melville Island with Lynn, filming many years ago, the elder Cyril, old Cyril Rioli, said, this young fella will be better than a lot of them. And here's Cyril in bare feet, banging through banana kicks right, left and centre. And then I've got a lovely photo at home of Cyril and his mate coming across and describing the Saratoga that uses its whiskers to take, nourishment off the top of water lily pads. But I'm digressing. I just love it. And I can just feel you through the lens that I'm giving you some hope. Go fishing. Grab the ones you love. Tell them you love them. So anyhow, Bob says we're ready to go. Melville Island, a jewfish. It's called a black jewfish. And that's what they call it. Because my goodness gracious me, when you first see it, you'll do a Jack Little in World Championship Wrestling terms. Wow! Yibbida Yibbida! How about that?
You went for the tree fish, I went for whatever jumped over there, mate. I tell you what, you got to be quick. You've got to be quick, mate. Look at it.
Oh, Jackie.
Little Jackie, how about that? He's a tiny little fella, isn't he?
Yes, I think we better let him go. What do
He
you
can
think?
go back. There might be another one over there.
Yeah.
It's all about quickness, mate, isn't it? It's all about quickness. Yeah, get in there. Bang.
Get your little rattler down here. Yep, got him.
Got him?
Yep.
Well done. Yeah, there should be 3 or 4 of them. What's that, a brim?
Species.
Species.
They're getting smaller though.
I think it's great that they actually chomp the lures, you know what I mean? Try one in there. Bang. Yes. Oh. He grabbed it and went to the side, didn't you see that?
Yeah. Not a bad size, that one.
Was a nice sized fish. You never know the go, eh? Been there.
Bit of bait in there. Nice cast, Rex.
Thank you. Now that deserves a fish, Rexy.
Make it happen, Rex. Make it.
Well, I don't think it is, because he should have taken the first couple of cranks. Mate, the big fireball in the sky's getting down a bit. Do you want to go outside and try a few gutters? What do you think?
Why not? We've got to
Okay,
get the
mate.
rock bar again.
And the rock bar. My goodness me. I forgot about the rock bar. It came here. Rock bar hunt. Doesn't sort of roll off the tongue at all, does it? We might call it Cole's Rock Bar. Cole Roberts in Perth. I know you watch the show, and all the best to you. Something took me on the way in.
Good fish.
My goodness me. Did not he hammer that?
You sure did.
Did not he hammer that? My goodness me. Oh, my goodness me. That
Right.
fish,
Where are you, Rex?
he's gone straight down again looking for that bar. I reckon we might be able to sort of
Yeah, I'll head out.
get him out of it, do you think?
That's what we're trying to do.
Oh, my goodness me, Mel. I've been here 3 times and this is my 4th visit. Twice filming, once as a paying customer with Garry Crombie, and the first time Matthew Wanameri from the Melville Land Council arranged for some of the native people to take me out and show them some traditional fishing methods for stingrays and crocodiles. Big Barra speared them. You might remember the show, it was fantastic. But every time I come back I think, that is why I do what I do. And the big thing is that you live in eternal hope that one day you might just get that big fish, and like I've said so many times before, this is the time when you lose the fish, because he's taking line. Now if I engage further braking, through the clutch, through the drag, I'm going to put too much pressure on the fish. When he's out, with monofilament fishing line, there's usually some stretch. But with this new super line, there's no stretch. You have a better feel for the fish. And at the moment, folks, we're in full angling mode. Gee, I love this. I love it every now and again when a plan comes together. He might be good enough to beat me. He might throw the hook yet. They are barbless, but they feel really, really well connected to this fish. And for one of the very, very first times in my life, I can't tell you what it is.
It's coming up there, Rex.
It's coming up. It
Bit
is
of colour.
big silver fish, so it is a big silver fish. And this is where we've got to really take care, because if he takes off, it is a big silver fish. Oh, it is a big silver fish. What are you? Please just give me a look at you. I'm not going to overdo it. It is a big, big jewfish. A big jewfish. A big jewfish. Oh, a big black jewfish of the Northern Territory. Hey folks, I can do this without a cleansing ale, a little red, or those funny cigarettes all you people smoke. I get off on this. Let's net the fish and have a go. Let's show him, eh?
I'll just grab him.
Will you? Yeah. All right then, Mel. Just want to grab him. Oh my goodness me. You've done that before, Malcolm.
Lure caught jewfish.
Oh, that's just fantastic. Lure caught jewfish. And why it's so important to me, folks, is the fact that... Look at him going dark now. He's just fantastic. It is so important to me because he's a lure caught fish. It's a lure caught fish. I might just get that top lot out, just like that. And we'll get the bottom out first, eh, will we? All right, we'll get that one out, and we'll get that one away from you, mate. And then it's all to be done. All to be done is to get that centre one out like that. That should just almost drop out, like that. And how about that? Wow, a little bit of a peck, mate. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Fella, you deserve your life. And away you go, mate. Just absolutely sensational. You give him a bit of a swim, Mel, and that is great. Oh my goodness me.
Shut up, Mark. Thank you very much. Not literally. Isn't that make? I'd love to be able to do that, but you know what I can do better than Mark is catch fish. And that's a bit pig-headed, it is. But I'm glad you saw me catch that black jew on I think it was a Rapala, GFR or NFG or one of them in a size whatever, in shallow water. And that's why we're able to release the black jew. I don't subscribe to the, pincing the air bladder and that sort of thing in the open waters out of Darwin Harbour, but in the shallower waters of Melville Island, I think that was Johnson River or Jessie River or something like that, away she went, just absolutely magnificent. Got a bit emotional there just while you were watching that. I was watching it on Daniel's screen. Gary Marsh Barra rod, a Loomis blank, one of the Shimano Chronics, or the real upmarket ones. I thought they were overpriced, but I told Dump that, but Dump didn't care because he made the money. And the first time I think I'd used braid, and I prefer Finn's braid because I get it for nothing. And I think it was Snyder, it was a leader, and then the Rapala. But to make sure you get the Rod Harrison loop knot, so the bib can go up and down. Okay, before we go to our next segment, and the young man Daniel will get there, from George of Gosford, and I just made that up, but someone has typed in, why did you start kissing fish? It's a bit personal, George, but on a serious note, I knew in 1989, when I made a pilot for Rex Hunt's Fishing World on Channel Rex, which is Channel 7 in Melbourne, that the greenies would come at me more than Richmond Football Club in the modern day game does after three-quarter time and go bang. So it was below Eildon Dam. It was #1 show. The Goulburn River was swollen, and I caught a rainbow trout on a flat tail, and Hanno, it wasn't one of your flat tails, but they're the ones from where you get them from, and just lovely. And I kissed the fish and put it back, and turned to my dog, or Lynn and I's dog, Missy, and said, how about that? She went, woo, woo, woo. That was just fantastic. So I'm sure you're saying, where's he going? And why did I kiss the fish? Because I wanted to show that fishing wasn't cruel. And I wanted to show people that you only take those fish you require for your immediate needs. I've been told to calm down on this particular broadcast, but don't snap me on those people who were fishing inside the marine sanctuary for snapper in Port Phillip Bay a few weeks ago. But I think you know you did the wrong thing, and as with me, it's okay to do the wrong thing, you just don't do it twice. Okay, now, do I still enjoy fishing these days? And that's from Brain. Daniel, I think that might be Brian. So, Mark, just tell him, will you? You idiot, son. So Brian, do I enjoy fishing these days? Nah, mate, I just like to sit at home and vegetate. Of course I do. But I select, after the Garfish, which was beautifully produced and directed by Bob Grief, my dear friend, but also my trusty producer and director, I'm waiting for probably Frankston Pier on a southerly and Mordialloc Pier on an easterly. This is in Port Phillip Bay, you people in the Northern Hemisphere. But the problem is it's not warm enough. Oh yeah, but it was 27 degrees today in Melbourne. It's the temperature of the water. And once it gets up about 20, 21, the garfish will come in. So, Brian, I just love it. I can't get enough of it. And we'll leave it at that. Fishing Mafia wants to know, is there anyone giving you a hard time, Rhett? No. I made that up. Fishing Mafia. Well, thanks, you're a good bloke. Daryl Holmes. I think he starred in some blue films. No, that was John Holmes. I'm sorry. I think Daryl Holmes, I reckon I fished at Ballarat with him in the early days, and he was a member of the fishing tackle trade. And I reckon I caught my first very big rainbow trout on a minnow, pardon me, at a place called Buninyong, where Danny Frawley used to spud farm, and he was called Spud, and he's not with us anymore. He's looking down on us, and Spud, good on you, mate. Anita and the kids miss you, and we all do. So you're highlighting that. We're going back to Melville Island, second or third biggest island off the coast of Australia. Mel Miles, just Google Mel Miles. He's 20 years old, but he's got a lovely boat which is permanently moored in the Kimberley, and that'll be good enough for me and my mates and the Barra boys, which are dwindling away through tragedies, and we'll go up there, I think, and happily fish for some nice fish with Mel Miles. This time we hunt Australia's, I think it's most iconic fish, the barramundi. There's a barramundi species all along the equator, similar Nile perch, New Guinea and the Bensback River. But the Melville Island strain of pure Australian barramundi has got to be one of my favourite fishes. Mel Miles said, I'll take you to a place if you can cast. You're in with the show, but be very, very aware of the snags, and be very, very aware that you might get one or two chances. I said, Mel, just point me in the direction. Daniel, let's go to the... roll the tape, Daniel.
Bit less current there now.
Yeah. Yes?
Yep, good one.
Well done. I'll take over the boat. I'm under you
Just keep bringing it in.
or over you?
You're right, you're clear.
No worries at all. Yep. Oh, I'll just see how my boat driving is.
I think.
Oh, just see that thing come in. You think I better just take this out of gear and perhaps have another cast?
Yeah.
Did you see that? When I was retrieving my lure, it was as if something just went whoosh.
Here he comes. He is a barramundi.
Barramundi, what an absolute beauty. What an absolute rip snorter. Look at that.
He's a nice one.
Now that is a serious fish, isn't it? Congratulations,
No worries, Rex.
Malcolm Miles. Miles and miles of barramundi. Wow, now that is a good fish.
It is a good fish.
That is a good fish.
It's getting
An absolute beauty.
Just laying down there.
Absolute beauty. Now, need some pliers?
Pliers. Jessie River Rock Bar Barra.
Yeah. Beautiful saltwater fish. Gee. Well, could it get any better? I didn't think after I caught that Dewey that it actually could get any better. But as Malcolm said, it's been a mixed bag. It's been a wonderful bag. Absolutely wonderful bag. Have a look at that, mate. Just absolutely perfect example of why we come to the top end. How long's he, mate?
What do you reckon? 80?
80 to 85 centimetres. So is he 5 or 6 kilo? We'll give him that anyhow, folks. So there you are, folks, as the sun goes down on another beautiful day in the top end of Australia. We're heading back to our mothership Gambler. We've got sashimi, and as well as that, we've got some uncooked fish. But I can tell you now, folks, if you want to get onto the best action in the best pristine wilderness, I tell you what, Darwin Bluewater aboard the Gambler is great value. How about that? See you later, mate. Off you go. And away he goes.
Mark King from Piano Warehouse, and I'm sure there's one person looking at this when I replay it to my beautiful bride at home, Lynn. It's called A Song for Adelaine, written and presented by Richard Clayderman, a magnificent pianist from France. And Lynn and I, with the late Robert Kerr and his wife Gail, we went to the old Hilton Hotel north of the MCG in Melbourne, and we were part of an audience of 80 people, and Richard Clayderman was there, and it was just fantastic. And Mark, isn't that a skill? And that's what I want to say to you people there, and there mightn't be many kids watching, but there's a lot of dads and a lot of granddads. We've all got a skill that is better than anybody else, and find something you love doing and get someone to pay you to do it. We're all born the same, and we'll all pass on the same, and we'll all end up the same. It's what you do in between. And what about this one? Just because you're bottom of the class doesn't mean you can't buy the school. And there's nothing more common than unused or initiated talent. The cemeteries are full of talented people who haven't taken the opportunity to live their life to the full. Live your life the way you want it. And that's the only reason I'm here, is to inspire people. It's nearly over for me. The fat lady's nearly singing. I'm sorry. The overweight person is nearly singing. And it's not until you get into your 70s that you realise it's just about all over. Now, we're going to Thailand right now. I think it's about an hour north of Bangkok. An hour in a vehicle called the jeepney. Now, before you ride in a jeepney, or a tuk-tuk, I think it is, Bob? A tuk-tuk. Before you ride in a tuk-tuk, or anyhow, check your insurance. There's a place called Exotic Fishing Thailand with John Pearce and Mike Bailey. There's a very, very beautiful fish exclusive to Thailand and Vietnam. It's called the Chao Phraya catfish. And while here, if we went to Bathurst Island with Mel Miles, or I went to Melville Island with Mel Miles and caught a catfish, they go, and it's a mother-in-law fish. And you get my drift there. And you just say, oh, well, because you're fishing for barramundi, you're fishing for threadfin salmon, for blue salmon, for black jewfish. But over there, the catfish is king. And the Chao Phraya is in the Exotic Fishing Lake at Thailand. And we cross to the crew who have prepared this segment for us.
Wow, what a crazy take that was. We're hoping to show you some different species today. So we're using a bubble float with some chicken. So it's like a plastic float, keeps the chicken on the surface, cast it out, wham, it was gone. And I think we're hooked up with a Chao Phraya catfish would be my guess. And a good one at that. Whoa. We can't be sure, but it's not doing the typical head shake of an Arapaima. He got a lot of line on us, a lot of line on me on the first run. These fish are a member of the catfish shark family. Whoa. Oh, he switched direction. Whoa. And they go to over 60 kilo here at Exotic Fishing Thailand. It's changing directions just like a Chao Phraya.
Isn't this the dog eater, Mike?
Yeah, as I just met, that's true, yep. Chao Phraya catfish. It's called the dog-eating catfish by a lot of people in Thailand. There's even rumors that there's a few ponds in Bangkok that if you ever wanted someone to disappear, you could have them disappear in these ponds. Beautiful day today. The sun is back, hopefully here to stay. Oh, nice fish. Uh-oh, I just saw some air bubbles. Let's hope it's not well, I don't care if it is an Arapaima, but really would like to show you something different today. There's lots of other surprises in the lake that it could be. I guess only time will tell. It's a strange fight. It's a big fish, whatever it is. What else could it be? I mean, we have 8 species that are over 100 pounds. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't know. Gone again. Could be a big alligator gar, but doesn't feel like it. You get a special connection, a special feeling with alligator gar. It's usually hooked in the hard mouth. Could be Arapaima, no typical head shakes. Could be a Wallagoon Leary. We got those to well over 60 kilo. Love to catch one of those again. På net. There he is. That's why they call him a catfish shark. Look at that fin on the back. Come on, guys, net, yeah? Oh. Not making my job any easier. I don't think we could have asked for the fish to be more cooperative. He basically swam in the net and then jumped over the side. This time they'll get him for sure. Gotta turn the head for them. Oh, come on, baby. Okay, we got him this time. Whoa, chow prai catfish, probably around 35, 40 kilo, something like that. Beautiful fish on the bubble float on chicken. Okay, so we got this beautiful chow prai catfish in the net. It's a healthy 40 kilo, that's for sure. It's got that beautiful, distinctive dorsal fin on the back, characteristic of why they call it the shark catfish. And like I said, we got this one on chicken, some nice spots on the fish. Like all the fish, we get them in the cage, we give them oxygen, lift them briefly for a photo, spray them. We're going to spray this fish up now with an iodine solution on the few hook marks and line marks before we let him go. What a beautiful fish, chow prai catfish.
Folks, Elton John, A Song for Guy. Who's Guy? He was a young man who was Elton's gopher. He'd go and get the sandwich, he'd get a cup of tea, he'd straighten up the music for Elton when he was writing those magnificent classics. Went across the road to get a sandwich for the team and was tragically killed by a motor vehicle. And straight away, Elton wrote the song, composed the music, and an hour later it was in the can. And it's just like, I was talking to Mark King, you know, great honour to have Mark from Piano Warehouse here. He was telling me the biggest piano in the world is $250,000, it takes 5 years to make. But it's like the tragic story of Christopher Cross's friend Laura, who was tragically shot when some blokes were spotlighting in America and a stray bullet hit her and she dropped dead where she stood. So the lyrics, there's always worthwhile listening. But A Song for Guy, Guy no longer with us, but his memory lasts forever. So we got another story, Bob? We haven't. That's just about it. Look, I've had a great time, and this Christmas show, Mark King, Piano Warehouse, is the father of young Daniel, who is our assistant producer, and I think Bob will say that he's had a pretty good initiation, but you don't learn by being nice, and he's just come on beautifully in the last month. Bob Grief, he's just doing it like a lot of us with his family, but that'll get him through. The love of everyone, Bob. And I'm just fortunate to have reconnected with Bob. We've always been friends, but through all the dusty tapes that have now become digital, and they're there forever, and they're there for your use. So The only other thing was that the young boy, I think his name was Lawrence. Just be yourself, son. Don't try to be me. You don't want to be me. But just be Lawrence and just fly by the seat of your pants. And if you aim for the sky, you might end up above the sky. So thanks to everyone, linesmen, ball boys, and thank you to my family for their love and support. I just love what I do. And we had a question earlier on, do you still enjoy fishing? Well, it's Sunday live in Australia, right across the planet. Tuesday, I'm going out into Western Port to catch some Chinese fish, the white ting, King George whiting. And on Friday, I'm going to Lake Barramundi to interrupt the Christmas party of the wonderful English perch there, the redfin, but hopefully a brown trout, a salmo trutter, and be fishing mud-eyes, which are a dragonfly nymph. So thanks to everyone that puts the show together. Thanks to everyone 35 years ago who inspired a young bloke who was just as raw as a piece of steak. And you've done me proud. We've established our connection to the man in Romania who will get a nice parcel from me at Christmas, so I'll talk to you soon. Okay, that's it. It's a Yibbida Yibbida. It's a happy and peaceful Christmas. We'll see you in the new year. And Yibbida Yibbida, I'm Rex Hunt. All the best. We're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind, then never mind. We'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We're never weak until the final siren's gone. Like the tigers of old, we're strong and we're bold. We're from Tiger, yellow and black, for we're from Tigerland. Richmond supporters, have a great Christmas, and you too.